Hello, people at home. Thank you for being patient with me this week as I learn how to introduce more students into the classroom while also keeping the kids who are at home learning virtually aware of what we're doing in class. So I think the best way to do this is to create kind of a daily video and a mini lesson on whatever we were talking about that day in class in person, even though you're not with us until Thursday or Friday of this week. So today and this week, we're going to be talking about symbolism and motif in literature. And those are just two ways that an author can help us discover a theme or a deeper meaning within a text. And we know that in Animal Farm, there is a ton of symbolism. Almost every character represents something bigger than just a horse or a pig or whatever animal. Even things like the humans on the farm, like Mr. Jones representing the Tsar of Russia, or Pilkerton representing Hitler. So we know that almost every thing on the farm, living or not, represents something bigger. And that's what a symbol is. A symbol in a text is something that stands out. It stands for itself, but it also stands for something bigger and deeper than itself. So let's start by talking about the American flag. What to you, if you were in person today, would you say, just kind of think about it in your head, the American flag symbolizes? Why do we have a flag? Why do countries at all have flags? Well, just on a real tangible level, the stripes represent the 13 colonies. The stars represent the 50 states of the Union. And then also we know that in addition to just the stars and stripes, there are also color symbols on this flag. So for example, the color red on the flag might symbolize something like just hardiness, valor, courage. Often the color red, because it's so bright, symbolizes something strong, right? Valor, hardiness, like I said. The white stripes, just in general, white things, white doves, white lilies, whatever, represents purity and innocence. And then finally, the color blue, representing vigilance and perseverance. So if we're looking at the flag, it looks just like a bunch of stars and stripes, but we know that it's intentional and has a deeper meaning. So writers use symbolism to show us things, but not tell us. They want us to have to kind of work for it. So anytime a writer uses an item to make us think about something deeper, that's them showing us what they mean, but not necessarily coming right out and telling us. Often symbols reveal something that's important. We have to notice symbols because that's what ultimately leads us to understanding the most important message, the central message of the text, the theme. It subtly reinforces themes and big ideas of the text, like I just said. So if we're talking about just a couple more common themes, I mean, there's so many common themes, but for example, springtime. Okay, I found this picture on the internet to represent springtime. So new life, freshness, kind of like a starting over. And we know that Animal Farm actually opens in the spring, or when the revolution takes place, I guess I should say in chapter 2, that takes place in March. So new beginnings, fresh start. We notice things like time of year. Setting is often used as a symbol. And then I don't know if you've ever read Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven, but the raven symbolizing something that would be seen as like death or dying or something sinister coming this way. So that's another example of something that we would see in literature that might have a more negative symbolism. And then, of course, there's symbolism in movies. We could look all day at different movies and talk about the symbolism within them. So we have here the Joker, and we know that Arthur paints his face as a clown, right? And initially, that starts out just as a means of entertainment. But after he loses his job, he continues to wear the face paint, symbolizing an escape from reality, almost just a need to hide his identity. And so kind of the symbolism there would be, well, we don't all paint our faces in clown paint before we go out into public. That would be weird. We do, as human beings, do small things to kind of escape from realities, any sort of vice that that we might be using. So we can see ourselves, even though the Joker's incredibly insane, and again, we don't paint our faces in clown paint, we can still kind of see ourselves in that character and in that symbolism. Another one would be in the movie Black Panther. I use this one because I'm hoping that most of you have seen it. So we know that the vibranium is something that is kind of stolen, right, from Wakanda. Some people come in, they're interested in the natural resource vibranium, and they take it by force. And so this would represent the stealing of a natural resource, but not giving anything back, is symbolic of colonialism. And even to this day, when certain military forces go into countries and take what they want by force without the consent of the people, colonialism. So there is, Black Panther is full of symbols, but that's just one of many. So here's the thing though, it's really hard for students, especially, younger 9th grade students, to find a symbol. That's so much easier said than done, and it gets so much easier with practice. But here are just kind of 3 points that I want you to remember when you're reading Animal Farm or any piece of literature and you're attempting to identify a symbol. You notice an object or a detail and it just feels important. Like it might mean something more. It's not, it's not as, it doesn't stand out as much as we would hope that it does. But when you're reading, you're a skilled reader, you're going to kind of notice something and just ask yourself, could this mean something beyond just a ribbon in a horse's mane, or an apple or some milk? What could this mean? It feels like it means more. Just pay attention to your reading. I'm going to point to, what is the item? What is it doing? Who or what is it associated with? Is it associated with a character? What is that symbol supposed to tell me about that character? And then finally, ask yourself, what else might it be representing? What else might this object or this weather pattern or this setting mean symbolically? What else might the creator want me to think about when I see it? So we're gonna do a little bit of practice. We're going to identify symbolism by watching a Pixar short called Pearl, and it's on the hyperdoc that we're working through today. So if you would stop this video and go watch Pearl, there are also some questions that I want you to answer on that same hyperdoc about Pearl. So you'll track at least 4 symbols that you see, 4 things. It could be a color, like we talked about with the American flag. It could be a character. It could be an attitude. Symbols come in a variety of packages. It could be an object. So notice something that you think the author intentionally put there to kind of give you a hint about a deeper meaning. And Pearl is about 8 minutes long. So go ahead and watch that right now and complete that section of the hyperdoc.